Test 1 2. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We'd like to call the meeting Health and Human Service and Public Safety Committee to order. Thank you all for joining us today. Can we please call the roll?
Chair Blagay,
Present.
Vice Chair Fisher,
Present.
Councilmember Olson,
Here.
Councilmember Watson.
Present.
4 members present at roll call.
Thank you, and thank you all so much for being patient today. We are starting later because we had a great announcement today to save our county with the FBI. So right now we are moving. We on our agenda. We have something quick, and we're going to go through it quick. CR 125/2025, and this legislation is a resolution concerning a domestic violence work group for the purpose of establishing a domestic violence work group and providing the purpose and objectives of the work group, defining the composition of the work group, and requiring the issuance of a report regarding domestic violence prevention and a response in Prince George's County. Can we get an overview from Ms. Eubanks?
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon. CR 125/2025 was introduced and referred to the Health, Human Services, and Public Safety Committee on October the 14th, 2025 for consideration. The resolution establishes the creation of a domestic violence work group tasked with reviewing, analyzing, and strengthening the county's prevention and response systems around domestic violence. The work group shall have 1 year to develop and submit a comprehensive strategic plan on preventing and responding to the domestic violence crisis in the county. The composition of the work group consists of representatives or their designees from the police department, the sheriff's office, the health department, Department of Housing, Department of Social Services, the county's Family Justice Center, the state's attorney's office, the fire chief office, the public school superintendent, representative from the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Center, the Community Legal Services of Prince George's County, Maryland Builders Industry Association, and the representative from the County Circuit Court Civil Domestic. The County Council Chair will appoint 1 council member, and the chair will be selected by the work group. We received comments from the Health Department in your binders on page 8. They recommended including a representative from the Department of Family Services, as that department has a division dedicated to domestic violence prevention and response efforts. On page 10, you have the policy analysis and physical impact statement, which indicates that the adoption of the resolution will not have a direct physical impact on the county. It may, however, result in indirect benefits by reducing domestic violence and related issues, easing demand on social services, and supporting the county's physical health. Mr. Ramon Gonzalez, legislative attorney, will review proposed draft 2, which add members to the composition of the work group. Thank you.
Thank you. Turn it over to the bill sponsor, Councilmember Fisher.
Oh, you didn't want the attorney to do draft 2, Madam Chair, first?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have my notes for you for next second, but we can turn it over to
Okay,
Ramon to
that would
do
be
the
fine.
proposed draft
Thank
2. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Going over the proposed draft 2 inclusions, some words just for clarity purposes. On page 2, line 24, the addition of a representative from the Prince George's County Department of Housing and Community Development. On line 31, page 2, the University of Maryland's Capital Region Medical Centers for the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Center, just for clarity purposes as well. And then there is a few additional members to the task force. On page 3, line 6 through 22, I'll try to be brief. a representative from the Prince George's County Association of Retailers, a representative from the University of Maryland Medical Center's The Bridge Program, a representative from the Maryland's Department of Housing and Community Development, a representative from the Prince George's County Redevelopment Authority, and a representative from the Department of Permitting, Inspections, and Enforcement, and a representative from the Maryland National Capital Parks and Planning Commission, a representative from the Southern Management Companies, and the addition of a nonprofit, House of Ruth or their designee. And that covers the additional members of the task force.
All right, thank you so much. Turning over back to Councilmember Fisher.
Thank you, Councilmember Legay. Thank you, colleagues. As I've been doing work in our community, and as you all know, we had a big presentation from the Family Justice Center about domestic violence and the numbers that are shocking through each councilmatic district. A fourth of Prince Georgians will be impacted by domestic violence, whether they're in a domestic violence situation, know someone, or have a relative. I know some of the work group members might seem strange, but there hasn't been an actual strategic plan around domestic violence in our county ever, actually. So this work group is trying to actually make a strategy. Domestic violence, for those in the county watching and listening, and for my colleagues, it's no longer just partner-partner. Domestic violence is throughout the home. It's child and grandparent. It's among siblings. It's many dynamics. I know you all saw the horrific murder of a grandmother by her granddaughter who was stabbed to death in our county. That is considered domestic violence. And just so you all know, the entire domestic violence will be covered in this. You see additions like the MBIA, the realtors, and other, because in my work, and I know all of you have done the work, housing is a huge part. And so when you see DPI, when you see the realtors and the development community, is to figure out what we can incentivize when it comes to housing for domestic violence victims. It's really, really hard to tell someone to leave a situation and there's nowhere for anyone to go. So this work group is really going to look at, obviously, we all know the aspects of someone commits a crime, there's a case, there's prosecution of that case. But this is going to go to the holistic aspect of it. You even see the schools added, something that I had a huge domestic violence program this month, and one of the things that I found shocking was what was happening with our children as a result, and the school system interaction with children when they have domestic violence in their home, and what their actual response is. And there's just no consorted plan. So I'm really excited to put this work group together. It's beefy, but it's needed in order to have all the moving parts so that we actually have a strategy to combat domestic violence. Because right now, it's just case by case. There's no plan. There's no interagency accountability, and there's really no measurable demographics other than cases, and then other than the Family Justice Help numbers that you all witnessed a few weeks back. And obviously their concerns of funding will be brought up when we had that meeting. So I think this is going to be able to really get into the teeth of everything that's going on and provide the county, along with the county exec, a real plan to move us forward. So with that, I'll take any questions, but I'm very happy and excited to start this journey.
All right, Councilmember Watson has a question.
Thank you. And thank you for your leadership on this bill, Councilmember Fisher. My question is, domestic violence is always looked at as a physical abusive situation. So I just want to make sure the work group also takes into account the mental, financial abuse imposed by partners on, their spouse or significant other. Just so you said holistic, so I just want to make sure that that's included in here, because a lot of times that gets overlooked. And people just don't think that, that mental abuse and financial abuse that partners inflict is not considered domestic violence, but it is.
I agree with that, Councilmember Watson. I do think mental health is psychological impacts, but maybe I'm very open on page 2, line 1, to maybe add a financial sentence in here, and financial strife right now, just so that we can make sure for sure that we'll go over in the work group ways to financially help and help victims and their families, focus on the financial abuse that's going on in our banks. I would say, That'd be really interesting about like in our banking industry and like what they can offer and do too as well.
Well, I know of situations where partners take out loans in their spouse's name without their
Consent.
There's just a lot, and they take their money, and so there's just a lot of different forms of domestic violence. I just want to make sure we're looking at
Yeah,
everything.
we will do that, but I also would Madam Chair, do you mind if I add something? Is
Sure.
that okay?
Yeah.
Ramon, do you think you could add just some clarity, whereas the domestic violence victims often result in substantial healthcare costs long care? Can you add like and financial strife or financial hardship?
I'll make sure that gets included.
You can.
Yeah.
I don't need an amendment for that. Or just put that in with all the others.
Yeah, because
Okay,
this
just
would
add
be
it
a part.
back in.
Can you add this to draft 2?
Yes, I'll
Okay,
add it to
great.
draft 2.
Thank you. Thank you, Council.
All right, thank you. Now turning it over to Sonia Owens, the council liaison. Oh, there you are.
Thank you, Chair Blagay. The administration does understand the importance of this legislation, and we appreciate Councilmember Fisher for putting it forward, and we are asking for favorable consideration of this legislation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm turning over to Denora Hernandez, attorney with the Office of Law.
Thank you and good afternoon, Madam Chair. The Office of Law had an opportunity to review proposed draft 2, and we find it to be in proper legislative form. No legal impediments to its adoption.
Okay, do we have a motion on the floor?
Move favorable.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Watson, second by Councilmember Fisher. On draft 2.
Draft 2.
On draft 2 as amended. Will you please call the roll?
Chair Blagay.
Aye, and thank you, Councilmember Fisher, for this. Vice Chair of this committee is showing leadership on a very important issue. And as noted, I think people should know that there was a one point where there was just an increase of violent crimes overall during COVID, but that has transitioned back to the increase they say now is domestic violence related incident.
30%.
Yep. So.
Vice Chair Fisher.
I thank you, colleagues, for your support, and you're so right, Councilwoman Blagay. Even though crime is down, even though when you're a victim of the crime, it doesn't feel like crime is down, but crime is down in our county. But when you take out domestic violence in Prince George County is up 30%.
Councilmember Watson.
Vote aye.
Olson. I'm sorry.
Thank you. I vote aye and just want to add my thanks to Councilmember Fisher for your leadership and for, recognizing and pushing us forward. Thank you.
Councilmember Watson.
I vote aye, and I just appreciate this happening. This is much needed. So I definitely want to have some sort of, I look forward to the report coming forward and all the discussions of the task force. Thank you.
Motion carries 4-0.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, I apologize. I did want to take on the county execs amendment as well to the bill. It was read, but I don't know if it was adopted in draft
Was it, I thought it was included in draft 2.
It was not added to draft 2.
Oh,
So we would have
okay, we'll
to,
just, let's do it. Can we make a motion, reconsider? Sorry. Reconsider, can we make a motion?
Move to reconsider.
Second.
Move to incorporate in draft 2. Can we say that? In draft 2, the county executives amendment.
Okay. It's been a motion and a seconded. Can we please call the roll?
Chair Blagay.
Aye.
Vice Chair Fisher.
Aye.
Councilmember Olson.
Aye.
Councilmember Watson.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
All right, thank you all so much. Today is the last committee meeting for this legislative year. I appreciate everyone's participation. Do we have a motion to adjourn? All right, second. All that in favor say aye. We are adjourned.